Deontay Wilder versus Jarrell Big Baby Miller? Could it happen? We get to that next. Please like and subscribe. Help us get to 1,000 subscribers. Leave a comment below. Let us know what you think. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to another random episode of The Hot Stove. I just got to thinking about what a real possibility of Deontay Wilder's next fight is, right? While the rumors with Ortiz are heating up, and I'm not against a rematch with King Kong, however, I'm not excited about the idea either. And if it would be forced on to pay-per-view, and that would play directly into the hands of Eddie Hearn, and it would bomb on pay-per-view. We talked about this on Tuesday Night Fights. A Wilder Ortiz fight, a rematch, just gives Eddie Hearn more negotiating power, right? We talked about this, probably 150,000 pay-per-view sales, somewhere in that realm. It's, you go to the table with that, and Eddie Hearn says, my guy just did 20, just did 1 million pay-per-view sales in the UK, and he sold 70,000 tickets. That fight is not a good look for Wilder. Now, it's not like it's not a bad fight. I'm not opposed to the fight and all of that. It's a decent fight. It was competitive enough. We can run it back. But we already know the outcome. Ortiz isn't capable of doing anything different. He can't get onto the inside. So as soon as he tires, and at 39, he will soon, he will tire. And when he slows and tires, he'll get caught with a right hand, and that'll be the end of the fight. He could do well the first 3, 4, 5 rounds, and then he'll get caught 6th, 7th round, and that'll be the end of it. He can't make the adjustments that he needs to make. He's not capable of it at 39 years old. So we already know the outcome of the fight. We know how the fight ends. And it's, on top of that, Ortiz has no fan base at all. He has no following. So Wilder would have to sell all of the pay-per-view tickets, right? Luis Ortiz sells a total of 0 pay-per-views in the U.S. The fight itself is okay, but it isn't intriguing, and we know the outcome. So it doesn't have that you must-see feel to it, right? There's no must-see TV feel to this rematch. You're buying this to see Wilder, right? If you're buying this fight, if you're selling out the $70, you're buying it to specifically see Wilder. So, it's just not a great look. Again, 150,000 pay-per-view sales at $70 a pop. That's about $10 to $11 million in pay-per-view revenue. $10 to $11 million. When AJ's over here on the other side of the pond, putting up all types of gaudy numbers. It's not a great look. There is another option, however, and that's the name of the show. That's what we want to get to. Big Baby, Jarrell Miller. He is a New Yorker. Will have a natural fan base. He can sell tickets at the Barclays, being from Brooklyn. He has that gift of gab. So, the build-up to this fight would be great. He's 300 pounds. He looks the part. He looks like a heavyweight that we'd never seen before. When you say 300 pounds, you think of Butterbean. This guy is country big. I know he's from New York, but this guy is big. He's country big. They can hype the fight. Miller can sell the fight. He'll have a bigger fan base. New York will come out and support him in the Barclays. Plus, the hype and everything, it will sell bigger on pay-per-view than Ortiz, who has no fan base. They'll hype this thing. This thing will do 250,000 pay-per-view sales. Maybe as much as 300. That means we're going to be closer, 250 to 300,000 pay-per-view sales is what we would predict. You're getting closer to 20 million, right? With 300,000 sales, you're at 20 million at $70 a pop. 250, 300, you're getting close. And that's what they're looking for. Is about 20 million in revenue. That's a good pay-per-view number. Also, you put another scalp on your wall. Jarrell Big Baby Miller is a legitimate fighter. He's a good heavyweight. Good skill. If you just beat Ortiz again, you already beat Ortiz. So beating him again, it's the same scalp on above your fireplace. So it doesn't do much for you. Jarrell Big Baby Miller is another name on your resume. He's better than Povetkin. He's better than Joseph Parker. So it gives him another leg up on the guys that I've beaten, right? Everyone who likes to call him bum squad. Well, if he beats Ortiz and Miller in the same year, now we got something. And we don't want to overlook Big Baby Miller because we do think it's a legitimate fight. In a legitimate fight, either fighter could win. Deontay Wilder will be the favorite, but Miller has a chance to win. So if he wins, he's guaranteed himself a heavyweight showdown with Anthony Joshua. Eddie Hearn wants to make that fight anyway, and if he knocks out Wilder, he did what you were afraid to do: get in the ring with with Deontay Wilder. So if Miller wins the fight, stops him, knocks him out, he has that negotiation. I did this big pay-per-view, and I did what Anthony Joshua was afraid to do. So either way, whoever wins that fight, it would set up a massive pay-per-view and would give them another bargaining chip. On top of all that, Eddie Hearn wants to put AJ in the ring with Big Baby Miller. Let's be real. That's the fight that he wants next. Okay? He wants to build AJ's star a little bit more in the U.S. and wants to use Big Baby to do that. If Wilder fights him, if Wilder steps in front and fights Big Baby Miller, and beats him this year, he could turn around and he's forced Eddie's hand now. He's taken that fight away from Eddie. Eddie Hearn can't put AJ in the ring with Big Baby Miller. If Wilder's just knocked him out, that would be ridiculous, right? I mean, that would be an ultimate duck. Yeah, I just knocked you out, so I'm going to fight the guy that got knocked out, who doesn't have a belt. If Wilder knocks out Big Baby Miller, there's nowhere else for Eddie Hearn to go, and he has to make that fight. So in doing that, you take away Eddie's next move. I know Brazil and Ortiz have been mentioned, but the WBC doesn't strip people. You know, they would let you fight Big Baby Miller, and if you do that, you've taken away Eddie's next move. So Eddie's out of moves, right? In a perfect world, Eddie Hearn would want this. He'd want the Povetkin fight in the UK. Then he'd want to come over to New York and in the Barclays Center fight Big Baby Miller, sell his guy in New York to that market, and then fight Wilder in Vegas a year from now. That's what he would want. If he can get that, we don't know. But we do know is if Wilder steps in and fights Miller first, he can't get an Anthony Joshua fight next. Unless Anthony Joshua wins, but then we'd all love that fight anyway. Unless Big Baby Miller won, if Big Baby Miller beat Wilder, which we're not projecting, but if he did, then perfect. A Big Baby Miller versus Anthony Joshua fight would be next. And that would be for the unification, the undisputed unified heavyweight championship, and we'd all get what we wanted to. So basically what we're concluding here, and tell us what you think, tell us if we're wrong, if we're crazy, if we're out of our minds, is that a Wilder Big Baby Miller fight leaves no other possible outcome but to be the next opponent for Anthony Joshua, right? I mean, there's nowhere else that he can go. And then it would be, no matter who wins that fight, it would be for the undisputed heavyweight championship of the world, which is what we all want. Finally, it's a really good fight, right? It's a real heavyweight championship fight. Sure, Wilder will be favored, and he should be. But don't discount Big Baby. Big Baby is dangerous. He's gotten a lot better. You can see that clearly. Just compare his win in his last fights against Stu Hopkins and just 2 fights ago against Gerald Washington. And he looked good against Gerald Washington, right? He dominated Gerald Washington, somebody that Deontay Wilder had a bit of trouble with, before he knocked him out. Wilder knocked him out in the 5th round. So it wasn't like he was given life or death, but Washington was winning rounds in that fight. It stands to reason. Like, it's reasonable to suggest that Washington won the first 4 rounds of that fight before getting knocked out in the 5th. He got dominated by Big Baby Miller. And Big Baby Miller has gotten better since then. You can see his punches are sharper and fresher. His footwork is better. His combinations are better. He works off the jab better. He's more active, right? If you go back watch that Gerald Washington fight, he does not fire a lot. He doesn't use the jab at all. He tries to just get on the inside, muscling him around. He's a come-forward fighter. It sets up an interesting match with Wilder. If he can get on the inside of Wilder, it's a really interesting fight. And he's defensively responsible. He keeps his hands up, right? He's not target practice. He's 300 pounds. He has the power and the strength to hurt him on the inside. The question is, can he consistently get on to the inside and stay on the inside and do work on the inside and wear him down without getting caught? Because when he does get hit, he gets hit with a lot of straight overhand rights. You don't want to do that with Wilder, right? So it would be this constant come forward attack with Big Baby, trying to get on the inside, trying to get on the inside, trying to get on the inside, tying him up, and he could be doing great. But if Wilder lands that one right hand, it could end the night. So this is a fight that if Wilder won by knockout, we would expect him to be down on the scorecards, right? Wilder gives away a lot of rounds. He did it with Gerald Washington. He did it with in his last fight with King Kong. Those guys couldn't get on the inside. Big Baby Miller's much better. He's much stronger and much more athletic, even though he's trying to pound the nut. Sounds crazy, but he has the ability to get on the inside. It's just that he has to get on the inside. He can't box from the outside at all. Like Ortiz had some success and then he got caught. Big Baby can't fight that fight from the outside. He's got to get on the inside. To get into the inside, you got to walk through the storm. You got to get to the eye of the storm. You got to walk through the bad neighborhoods, like Teddy Atlas would say. So it's a really intriguing fight. Stylistically, it's a great fight. So it's a bigger fight than Luis Ortiz. It would generate a star. It would make him a star. It would make him more money on the back end than a fight with a rematch with King Kong Ortiz. They would hype it more. They would sell it more. It also forces Eddie's hand. He has to fight you next. There's nowhere else he can go. He has to fight the winner. AJ has to fight the winner of that fight. There's no other fight that remotely makes any sense at all. And it's a good fight. So, for those three reasons, this seems realistic. And there's no reason why they can't have it made. Wilder hasn't fought since March. Big Baby has a date set for October. No opponent. I don't even think there's a venue yet. But he has an October date scheduled. Great. Put Wilder in there. Wilder versus Big Baby Miller this October. It will be... the fight will end with a violent explosion. We just don't know which way. Either man could win that fight. So it's a real heavyweight fight. Let us know what you think. Leave your thoughts, comments below. Is Wilder Miller a real possibility? Do you want to see that fight? We're into it, obviously, but if you guys see some flaw with it, you don't like it, let us know what you guys think. Leave your comments below. Please like and subscribe. Help us get to 1,000 subscribers. For the hot stove, this is 3D Boxing signing off. Thank you, and God bless.
Enjoy 3D Boxing vlog videos? Show us some love by clicking the like button. Don't miss a tweet, post, story, or video. 3dboxingvlog.com is also on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Hit the subscribe button now to stay inside the ring.